Stop waiting to feel ready. What if I told you that the life you want is being delayed by one simple habit? Waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for more confidence. Waiting for the perfect plan. Waiting for the right time. And while you're waiting, someone with less talent, less experience, and less knowledge is moving forward simply because they started. If you've been putting off your goals because you don't feel ready yet, this video is for you. Because today, we're going to talk about why waiting to feel ready is keeping you stuck and what successful women do instead. Principle 1, the readiness trap. Most people believe that successful women started when they felt confident. They imagine that entrepreneurs launched their businesses because they knew exactly what they were doing. They assume creators posted their first videos because they weren't scared. But that's not reality. The truth is that almost everyone starts before they're ready. They start with doubts. They start with fear. They start with uncertainty. In her groundbreaking book, Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg talks extensively about how women systematically underestimate their own abilities. She points out a famous phenomenon. Women will only apply for a job if they meet 100% of the criteria, while men will apply if they meet just 60%. When we wait for 100% readiness, we aren't being thorough. We are trapping ourselves. We look at literature and see this exact trap. Think about Bilbo Baggins in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. When Gandalf and the dwarves show up at his door, Bilbo is the epitome of not ready. He loves his comfort, his tea, and his routine. If he had waited until he felt like a courageous, world-saving burglar, he would have never left the Shire. He had to step out of his door while trembling. Most people think, I'll start when I feel ready. But readiness isn't something you find. It's something you create through action. Principle 2, the cost of waiting. Every time you delay your goals, you're paying a hidden price. You lose time, you lose opportunities, you lose momentum. But the biggest thing you lose is belief in yourself. Because every time you say, you're going to do something and don't follow through, you weaken your self-trust. Author Steven Pressfield calls this psychological barrier resistance in his classic book, The War of Art. Pressfield argues that the more important a call to action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel toward doing it. When you give in to resistance by saying, I'll do it tomorrow, you aren't just delaying a task, you are actively feeding a force that wants to keep you small. If you want a tragic picture of what a lifetime of waiting looks like, look no further than Jay Gatsby in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. Gatsby spent years building the perfect persona, accumulating wealth, and curating the perfect moment to approach Daisy. He spent his whole life waiting for the ideal conditions to claim his future, only to find that time had moved on without him. Imagine where you could be 6 months from now if you started today. Now, imagine where you'll be if you spend another 6 months waiting. The gap between those two futures is created by one decision: start now or wait longer. Principle 3, what successful women do differently. The women who become successful aren't fearless, they're willing. They're willing to be beginners. They're willing to look inexperienced. They're willing to make mistakes. They're willing to learn as they go. While everyone else is waiting for certainty, they're collecting experience. And experience creates confidence. Mel Robbins dedicated an entire best-selling book to this exact concept called the 5-second rule. She proves that there is a tiny, critical 5-second window between the moment you have an instinct to act and the moment your brain steps in to make excuses. Successful people don't have a secret reserve of courage. They just move before their brain has time to talk them out of it. Look at one of the most beloved figures in classic literature, Jo March, from Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. Jo didn't wait until she was a polished, universally accepted author to write. She wrote by candlelight in a freezing attic, sending off stories that got rejected, taking criticism and adapting. She was willing to be messy and exposed because the drive to create was stronger than the need to feel perfectly secure. Think about driving a car. You didn't become comfortable by studying driving. You became comfortable by driving. The same principle applies to every goal in life. Action creates clarity. Action creates confidence. Action creates results. Principle 4. Your future self needs you to start. Picture the woman you want to become: confident, successful, disciplined, healthy, financially secure. She wasn't created by waiting. She was created by taking action on days she didn't feel ready. In the modern sci-fi masterpiece, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, the main character Nora is shown all the parallel lives she could have lived if she had made different choices, if she hadn't let fear and regret paralyze her. The book beautifully illustrates a profound truth. The only thing keeping us from our best alternate reality is our refusal to try. Every version of your future self is built by the decisions you make today, not tomorrow, not next month. Today. The life you want isn't waiting for you to become ready. It's waiting for you to begin. So here's your reminder. You don't need another course. You don't need another sign. You don't need perfect confidence. You don't need the perfect plan. You simply need to start, because the women who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who felt ready. They're the ones who moved anyway. The next chapter of your life begins the moment you stop waiting and start acting. If this message helped you, subscribe for more videos on confidence, self-improvement, female entrepreneurship, and becoming her. And if you're ready to take action, comment "glow up" below and commit to your future self today.